What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman, aka Allfires. Now, while I know this next statement is not going to apply to all of you, it's going to apply to a good majority of you. When I say I know a lot of you felt some sort of way about how Marvel Studios in the MCU handled the Hulk's power set throughout the Infinity Saga. Instead of trending him upwards towards some of his most exciting versions of the characters, they ramped him down. So where we were all calling for a Hulk vs Thanos rematch in Avengers Endgame, instead we got the introduction of Professor Hulk. Probably nobody's favorite iteration of the character from the comics, but considering how they needed him in the story for that film, fit pretty well, because let's face it, you don't want a Savage Hulk with the Infinity Gauntlet. Probably a really bad idea. That being said, you're going to be super excited to hear, if you somehow haven't already in the last day, coming from Geeks Worldwide, that in fact a World War Hulk movie is set to go into production in 2022. We actually had a separate and trusted industry insider weighing in today with additional details and when we might expect to see the film. We're going to talk about everything World War Hulk, how that starts with World Breaker, one of the most exciting versions of the character, where we last saw Dr. Banner, why they may have reverted him and how in Shang-Chi, and of course where we'll see him next, how this all may lead to World Breaker Hulk and eventual solo World War Hulk from Mark Ruffalo. We're breaking it all down, but first, if you could grab the subscribe button. We're still giving away a PlayStation 5 now at 900,000 subscribers. In fact, the winner of the last PlayStation 5 with the conclusion of What If just got his today and made this post on Instagram. He said I could share it with you guys. His caption's hilarious. I asked him what the first game he was going to play. He told me Spider-Man or Final Fantasy. I agree with both of those options. Congratulations, Mike. Enjoy it. If you want to be entered to win, or if you like daily Marvel content, either one, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below, and if you want to stick around to the end of the video, we'll get into all the giveaway stuff again there. Okay, so starting with just the reports, and again, somehow if you haven't seen this, breaking yesterday from Geeks Worldwide with no real additional details, just that set to go into production in 2022, a solo Mark Ruffalo Hulk film under the World War Hulk production title, hopefully drawing directly from the comic line. Now today, additionally, industry insider Charles Murphy over at Murphy's Multiverse added in with this, quote, "I will say about the World War Hulk movie and productions in general, once upon a time, a movie hit theaters a year after production, give or take a month or two. I think it's obvious that is not the case anymore. Blade and Cap 4 will still go into production before World War Hulk, as far as I know, indicating two things: that they haven't quite hit the production stage yet. They're in pre-pro, where they're still sorting things out, and there's a order to this, how they find a script and a screenwrite, how they put a story together, get a director, then do the casting. Those things take a lot of time, and Marvel Studios definitely has a waiting line now with how many franchises they have already lined up. So while this is reporting it's going to go into production in 2022, that might be pre-pro, and it may be maybe a year or two before they start shooting, making it clearly going to be set in Marvel Phase 5 and a ways from now. Don't be expecting World War Hulk to be showing up in 2023 or 2024. There's a lot more movies to come. Now that being said, and as we mentioned in the prologue, Hulk's power set is a major point of contention. A lot of fans of Marvel Comics in general and where things were going in the MCU were super disappointed what happened in Infinity War with him getting beat so easily by Thanos, and even more disappointed when the reveal was we were getting Professor Hulk instead of something like a World Breaker Hulk. That is where the story starts in the comic line. Now, if you guys aren't familiar, I'll give you a quick rundown without any spoilers, but that story is absolutely nuts. It's a fan favorite for a reason. It starts with the Illuminati at the time, minus Professor X, deciding for everyone's safety that they should exile the Hulk and send him into space, which they end up doing, but the spaceship they use explodes, killing Hulk's wife, which leads to his vendetta and eventual return and revenge on the heroes. Without giving too much away, that starts with his highest and most crazy power level, maybe outside of something like Heart of the Monster Hulk and a couple of others. It's one of the highest and craziest versions of Hulk in World Breaker, stepping off the spaceship, breaking off the eastern seaboard, killing a bunch of Avengers. It's wild. It's absolutely wild. I don't know how far they're going to go with this, but let me tell you, it would go a long way in undoing a lot of the depowering of the Hulk during the Infinity Saga. Either way, we have to talk about where the Hulk is right now and how we get to that. So the last time we saw Hulk, he was the Professor Hulk version, and then we saw him in Shang-Chi. He had been un-Professor Hulked. Now, I'm sure they're going to reveal how this happened, and I'm just going to be suspicious here and say they did it for narrative purposes because of what needs to happen in She-Hulk with the blood transfusion with Jennifer Walters. We'll get to that in just a sec. So regardless of how it happened, the why of how it happened is Marvel Studios like, we need to revert him now so he feels safe giving the blood transfusion for Jennifer Walters, and She-Hulk is going to get shot. She's his cousin. He gives her a transfusion. She becomes Hulk. That's how it all plays out. That's where they're going to need to have him next in the Disney Plus series. That's already been officially announced. That's her origin story for the comics, and I don't think there was anybody who thought they would change that. Why would you need to? You have all the characters you need. But in Shang-Chi now, they've depowered him. It could have been he did it in the lab the same way he was able to combine them in the future. It could be that the exiling of Hulk, no matter how it happened, whether he got Doctor Strange's help to revert his form, which I've seen pondered by a couple of other YouTubers, which may be a way. Magic is definitely something we've already seen in the MCU as being able to help people change forms, etc. Making it so that he looks like Banner and Hulk is magically suppressed. Either way, that suppression is what could lead to Hulk's revenge and vendetta against the heroes. We already know he's dealing with a lot of issues and how he's been treated already during the Infinity Saga, and Hulk is probably not too great at dealing with his feelings. We eventually will get another Savage Hulk in the MCU on the way to this, as he'll emerge. The World War Hulk storyline had a ton of imagery already used during Thor Ragnarok, where they were both on Sakaar. And I have a couple of theories working already. They'll be coming out at the channel about how this is eventually going to lead. How they've already used enough of the details they need. Some of the things we've already seen in Infinity War, plus one or two things now, could lead to this. But because of the report from Charles Murphy, and again, it is a common sense report. We are a long way off this film. It's just being announced now. It could be in pre-production for a year, then another year before it shoots. Then it shoots. We're talking about 4 years from now we get this film. Probably a long way off any sort of official announcement of any kind, but making the rounds in the MCU news because of how exciting this is. And for fans who felt like Hulk wasn't used the way he should have been, well, even if they do a % of Worldbreaker Hulk, we are going to get some absolutely crazy action scenes in the MCU, which better include Hulk versus Wolverine. If they don't get that done, to me, that is the most missed opportunity with the reacquisition of all these characters. Hulk versus Wolverine, Hulk 181, first appearance on the cover. Yeah, I already know he was in Hulk 180, but we consider Hulk 181 the first appearance, squaring off against each other. There is almost no more classic Marvel Studios. I have faith in them to get it done. Guys, let me know all your thoughts down below about all of this, and how excited are you for one of the highest power level Hulks to make his way into the MCU. We'll be seeing again soon in She-Hulk, and where do you think he's going to show up between now and then? How do you think this is all going to play out? Maybe we are going to get an Illuminati sooner than later in the MCU, which would be crazy. All right, quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. All right, we're giving away a PlayStation 5 still at 900,000 subscribers. Eternals comes out in a couple of weeks. We'll do weekly Marvel tickets during that week. And then, of course, get back to the Disney Plus subscriptions while Hawkeye comes out. So if you want to be entered to win any of this, sorry, my attention got drawn there by my dog looking all silly. And yeah, you know what? We're not going to do a cut-in for the giveaway section. So you guys, for that moment, were living with me with my crazy dog. We're still giving away this PlayStation 5. All you have to do to be entered to win, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. The more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. All winners will be announced at the end of videos, the same way we're doing here. The best way to keep up with the content has always been to hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on. And as always, if you enjoyed today's video, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit the like button. My name is Michael Roman. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at IamFires. You can also find me on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, Apple, iTunes Music, wherever you listen to original music under the name All Fires. I would sincerely appreciate that. But in the meantime, thanks for checking out the channel. Stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.